Hi love, I'm Serafina Moon, the heart and soul behind the JT Wayne store on Etsy. Love has always been my greatest inspiration. Not just the romantic sparks between two souls, but the gentle, powerful energy that flows through self-love, friendships, and the way we connect with the universe. Every creation I offer is touched with that same intention. When people ask me about love spells, I tell them this. Love spells aren't about controlling another's heart, they're about opening doors. They're rituals of intention, ways to call in more warmth, connection, and magic into our lives. It can be as simple as lighting a candle with a whispered wish, carrying a charm that reminds you of your worth, or surrounding yourself with colors that radiate romance and joy. At JT Wayne's store, my candles, charms, and pieces are not just objects, they're vessels of energy. I create them so you can hold the magic in your own hands, setting your intentions and weaving your own spell of love. Love itself is the greatest spell we'll ever know. Every act of kindness, every spark of confidence, every moment of choosing love over fear, that's real magic. And that's the energy I pour into everything I share with you here. When I first began this journey, I never imagined how many souls would be drawn to the magic of love. Each message I receive, each order that leaves my hands, feels like a thread weaving us together in a greater tapestry of connection. For me, creating is more than simple crafting. It is ritual. Every herb, crystal, and color I choose carries meaning. Roses are for passion and tenderness, lavender for calm and balance, quartz for clarity of heart. These details matter because love itself often hides in the smallest details of our lives. When you step into the JT Wayne store, I want you to feel as if you've entered a sacred space. A place where your heart feels safe, where your spirit feels seen, and where your own light has room to bloom. Whether you are calling in a soulmate, nurturing an existing bond, or learning to honor yourself, the magic always begins within. My role is simply to help guide you toward it. Love is not something to chase but something to embody. When we tend to ourselves, when we nurture our inner world, love naturally radiates outward and draws to us what is meant to be. That is the spirit of everything I create. A reminder that you are worthy, radiant, and already hold the spell of love within you. People often ask me how to cast a love spell. The truth is, it is not about complicated rituals or secret words. A spell begins the moment you set your intention. It is as simple as holding a thought in your heart and choosing to direct it outward with focus and care. A love spell can be imagined as 3 steps: intention, symbol, and action. Intention is the heart of the spell. What are you truly asking for? Not the fleeting attention of another, but the deeper desire: closeness, healing, self-confidence, trust. Naming your intention is the first act of magic. Symbol is the object or element that carries your intention. It may be a candle, a crystal, a charm, or even a written word folded and kept close. These symbols are reminders, anchors for your focus. Action is how you breathe life into your intention. Lighting the candle, holding the charm, speaking the words. These actions turn thought into movement and movement into energy. In this way, a love spell is not about control. It is about alignment, aligning your inner desire with the energy you send into the world. When your heart and your actions move together, you are already casting. That is the philosophy behind every piece I create for the JT Wayne store. They are tools, yes, but more than that, they are companions for your own magic. If you are curious about deepening your practice, remember that casting is less about performance and more about presence. You do not need elaborate tools or long incantations, though those can be beautiful, because the truest spells are woven from focus and sincerity. Think of it this way. Your mind is the flame. What you focus on is what you feed. When you allow your thoughts to linger on love, kindness, and openness, you ignite the spark of possibility. Your heart is the vessel. A spell is strongest when it grows from honesty. Ask yourself, what is it I truly need? Do I seek love from another, or do I first need to nourish the love within myself? The answer will shape everything that follows. Your action is the key. Intention without action is like a locked door with no handle. A simple gesture, writing a word, holding an object, taking a breath with purpose, is enough to open that door and let energy move. The practice of spell casting is really the practice of paying attention. To set aside the rush of daily life, to hold one thought like a seed and to give it care. That seed may be planted in the soil of a journal page, in the flame of a candle, or in the quiet of your own breath. With time, patience, and faith, it grows. Above all, remember, love spells are never about bending another to your will. They are about calling yourself into alignment with love, so that when it arrives freely, naturally, and beautifully. Step 1. Begin with the self. Every spell begins with the heart that casts it. Before you look outward, turn inward. Ask yourself, what is it I truly seek? Am I longing for companionship, healing, or the courage to love myself more fully? The clearer you are, the stronger your work will be. Step 2. Set intention. Intention is the soul of magic. Speak your desire quietly, even if only to yourself. Words shape energy, and energy follows where attention flows. A whispered truth carries power when it is spoken with sincerity. Step 3. Choose your charm. A charm is simply a symbol, a vessel that holds the weight of your desire. It might be a stone you feel drawn to, a candle that glows with meaning, or a small token you keep close. What matters is not what the object is, but what it represents to you. Step 4. Weave action with meaning. A charm without action is just an object. When you hold it, light it, wear it, or place it somewhere sacred, you breathe life into it. This is how your intention begins to move outward, carried by your actions. Step 5. Trust and release. A spell is not meant to be clutched tightly. Once you have spoken, chosen, and acted, let it go. Trust that the energy has been set in motion. Love finds its way best when it is not chased but welcomed. Step 6. Live as the spell. The greatest magic is the life you live each day. Speak kindly, move with honesty, nurture yourself, and offer love where you can. In doing so, you embody the very spell you cast, and the world responds in kind. Step 7. Create sacred space. Every spell deserves a home. It does not need to be grand. Even the smallest corner of a table or a quiet moment in your room can become sacred when you treat it with care. Clear away clutter, light a candle, or place a cloth that feels special beneath your charm. A clean and intentional space allows energy to flow more freely. Helpful hint: the atmosphere matters less than your focus. Even a single breath taken with purpose can transform an ordinary space into a sacred one. Step 8. Work with the senses. Love lives in the senses, and so does magic. Scents, colors, and textures help anchor intention in the physical world. Choose fragrances that soothe or uplift you, colors that represent your desire, and textures that comfort your touch. These awaken the body and invite the heart to listen. Helpful hint: red often symbolizes passion, pink tenderness, white purity, and green harmony. Trust your instincts above all. The color or scent you are most drawn to is the one that will serve you best. Step 9. Call upon patience. Spells are not lightning bolts. They are seeds. You plant them with intention, water them with action, and allow time to draw forth the bloom. Impatience weakens the work, while patience strengthens it. Helpful hint: keep a journal of your intentions and return to it after weeks or months. You may be surprised at how quietly and naturally love has woven itself into your life. Step 10. Protect what you cultivate. Love is delicate, especially when it is new. Just as you would protect a flame from wind, so must you shield your heart's intentions from doubt, negativity, or fear. Surround yourself with supportive energy and let go of voices, even your own, that tell you love is out of reach. There was a time not long ago when my own heart felt unsteady. I had poured so much of myself into others that I had forgotten how to listen inward. One evening, after a particularly difficult day, I found myself sitting alone by candlelight, my thoughts restless and my chest heavy with longing. I remember reaching for a small rose quartz stone I had carried with me for years. It had been a gift, though I had never paid it much mind. That night, however, it felt different in my hand, cool, grounding, almost as if it was reminding me to pause. I did not set out to cast a spell that night, at least not in the formal sense. Instead, I allowed myself to breathe. I whispered what I needed most: not another person's affection, but the courage to love myself without hesitation. The flame flickered, the stone warmed in my palm, and something within me softened. In the days that followed, I noticed subtle shifts. I felt calmer, more open, more willing to smile at strangers and kinder toward myself. And as if drawn to that energy, people seemed to meet me differently too. A friend called out of the blue, an old hurt began to heal, and a new connection entered my life with surprising ease. That was when I understood what a love spell truly is. Not a command to the world, but a call inward. It was never about bending fate. It was about aligning with it. The spell was not in the candle, the stone, or the whisper. The spell was in the choice to remember my own worth. It is that memory I carry into every charm, candle, and talisman I create for the J.T. Wayne store. Each piece is an echo of that night, a reminder that the greatest magic comes not from seeking love elsewhere, but from uncovering the well of love we already hold within. In the days after that quiet night, I watched the world with new eyes. It was subtle at first, a shift in the way I carried myself, the gentleness with which I spoke to others, and the ease in my own heart. I realized that the spell I had cast was not about instant results or dramatic transformations. It was about alignment. I noticed small signs almost immediately. A neighbor smiled as we passed on the street, a friend reached out unexpectedly, and moments that had once felt heavy now carried lightness. But the most profound change was internal. I no longer felt the restless longing that had driven me to sit by candlelight that night. My heart had learned to trust itself again. And then a week later, someone new appeared in my life, not by force, not by wish, but as if the world had made space for them to arrive. The connection was natural, easy, and filled with warmth. It wasn't the kind of instant fairy tale romance I had once imagined. It was steadier, gentler, and real. That's when I understood the true nature of what had happened. The spell had worked, not because of the stone, the candle, or the whispered words, but because I had shifted my energy. By focusing on self-love, clarity, and intention, I had opened the door for love to enter in its own time and on its own terms. Since that night, I have carried that lesson into every creation I offer in the J.T. Wayne store. Each charm, candle, and talisman is a reminder that love begins within. Magic is not control. It is trust, patience, and the courage to honor your own heart. And sometimes when I hold that rose quartz, I smile at the memory. A quiet reminder that the simplest intentions, when aligned with honesty and care, are often the most powerful magic of all. After that experience, I began to reflect not only on my own practice but also on what sacred texts have to say about love. The Bible, in particular, offers timeless guidance that resonates deeply with the work I do. It teaches that love is patient, kind, and enduring. In 1 Corinthians 13, we are reminded that love does not envy, does not boast, and does not insist on its own way. True love, according to these words, is a reflection of the divine, something that grows when nurtured with honesty and humility. This perspective shifted the way I thought about spells and charms. The goal was never to control another's heart, but to cultivate the qualities of love within myself: patience, kindness, gratitude, and faith. When we focus on these qualities, the energy we carry naturally attracts harmony and connection into our lives. The Bible also teaches the power of intention and prayer. In Proverbs, it says that the Lord directs the steps of those who seek Him. This reminded me that a spell or act of focused intention is, at its core, a prayer, a way of aligning one's heart with goodness, love, and hope. By combining this wisdom with the symbolic work I do in my candles, charms, and talismans, I see love as both an internal practice and an outward expression. When we embody the principles of patience, honesty, and gratitude, the universe responds, and sometimes the timing of love unfolds in ways we could not have predicted. In this way, the stories of spells, the guidance of the Bible, and the energy I pour into the J.T. Wayne store all converge. Love is not forced, it is cultivated, it is nurtured, and it is always, ultimately, a reflection of the heart that dares to open. If this story resonates with you, I invite you to visit the J.T. Wayne store on Etsy. There you will find a variety of items designed to inspire, guide, and support your journey with love, intention, and creativity. From digital books filled with wisdom and guidance, like the reflections and teachings I've shared here, to beats, journals, and other tools for self-expression, there is something for every seeker. Every item in the store is crafted with care, whether it is meant to spark imagination, nurture the heart, or provide practical guidance. My hope is that each piece becomes a companion on your personal journey, helping you focus your energy, set your intentions, and celebrate the magic already within you. Explore books that share stories, insights, and inspiration, or discover beats and music to set the tone for your own reflective moments. Every creation is part of a larger vision, to help you align with your heart, cultivate love, and live with intention. The J.T. Wayne store is more than a shop. It is a space to connect, to explore, and to find tools that empower you. Whether you are seeking guidance, creative inspiration, or a reminder of your own inner magic, you will find it waiting for you here. Step in, explore, and see what resonates. Your journey toward love, clarity, and intention begins with a single click.